and took their spoil, and gave change of raiments unto them, which expanded the redo. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. Can we all read verse 30? But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he has used as his friend. Do we call this man the best friend, the best man? Okay, so the wife was given to who? To the best man. Now, lessons. Are you ready? Oftentimes we encounter what Samson encountered, and many of us are going through this stage at this moment. What lessons can we glean? Can we pick? As many as possible who are seated listening to me, who are journeying into the counsel of God for their lives, we are walking into glory. Lesson number 1. In the choice of a life partner, be sure it is the will of God. Never you marry for any other purpose except that which God has designed marriage for. It is obvious that Samson's marriage to this woman of Timnath was not for joy. Well, it was for pain. He married her so that he can seek what? An occasion. Against who? Against the Philistines. I want to beg all the young ladies in church, in the course of deciding to marry or accepting proposal, let it be that the major reason why you are doing this is so that the will of God can come to pass in your life. And to every man who is in church, don't go proposing for any other reason except to love and to cherish all the days of your life. Don't come and tell us anytime soon and say, well, you can divorce because you missed it. Divorce is not in the arrangement of God, even if pastors are preaching it. It was not the original mind of God. Jesus said in the beginning, it was not so. Divorce became part of our lives because many people, even till now, are getting married for the wrong reasons. And Samson was one of their patrons. Why did he got that woman? Anybody? So that he can find occasion. Verse 4. He was looking for an occasion against the Philistines. God did not tell him that in the course of fighting my battle, you need to destroy somebody's life. So that is lesson number 1. Do not marry for any other reason. Don't marry out of pity. Don't marry because of wealth. Don't marry and don't use any other yardstick. Just be sure this person is the person you want to love all the days of your life. You cannot patch marriage. If you patch it over some months, continue the marriage again. And you will need to do something about this morning. Purge your heart of any other thing. I want a guy that is tall, dark, and handsome. Beautiful. But you don't need that. What you need is a man that will love you all the days of his life. I want a man that is mobile now. He's good. But you don't need that. What you need is a man that will walk with you no matter how rough your journeys may be. That's lesson number 1 that I saw in the story of Samson. And I want you to please pay attention to it. Why are you in the relationship you are? Do you think the reasons why you engage this lady is a good reason? Young lady, in saying yes, the day you told him yes, and you are planning marriage, why did you say yes? Is it because you have an ulterior motive that nobody knew? I tell you very, very soon, everything will become exposed as it was in the story of Samson. Number 2. I want to plead with you, by the mercies of God, as Samson and as St. Paul said in the book of Romans 12, he said, I beseech you by the mercies of God. I want to beg everyone listening to me by the mercies of God. Pay attention to the authority figures in your life. Have people you can submit to. Even when Samson was still living in his father's house, he doesn't listen to the father. Can you see the place I'm reading? Immediately the father had an objection about his choice of life partner. What did he say? That's what I want. Get it for me. Get it for me, because in that time, in their culture, you cannot walk up to a woman and marry her. Parents from your side will go to parents on her side and negotiate. Go and negotiate. Go and get it done. Go and sort it out. Go and have her for me. I don't want to listen to you. I'd like to ask you, are you not another Samson in church? You are seated here, you cannot remember the last time you listened to your father, you listened to your mother. Your mom has been crying, your dad has been screaming and said, how did we get this boy? How did we get this child? Are we sure this child was really the one we gave birth to? Because you have never listened. Last week we talked about that part of the way we bless our parents is by honoring them. Honor your father and mother. And to honor is to have regard. To honor is to submit. To honor is to obey. To honor is to treat something as special. To honor is to value them. To honor is to always appreciate God for their lives. What was the concern of Samson's father when he told them where he intends to marry? Said, in verse 3, is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among my people? We are Jews. Why go marry among the uncircumcised? We serve God. Why go marry an unbeliever? I was sharing this in another church in this vicinity about 12, 13 years ago. I don't know precisely. And while I was talking about the need to marry from the household of faith, while I was talking about the need not to be unequally yoked together with unbeliever, a lady said, but why? Why are you saying that? What if I love him? What if he loves me? The Lord did not give us any condition for disobedience. Samson, don't do it. And sometimes we ask some of our sisters, when you come introducing your suitor to us, is he born again? Is he a child of God? Does he fear God? We ask our sisters the same. The man you want us to meet, is he a child of God? He said, well, actually, I don't want us to worry about the spiritual issue. The major issue is love. Whatever love Samson had for this lady did not last. It will last if you are marrying outside your spiritual conviction. So everybody, pay attention to spiritual convictions and pay attention to authority figures in your life. And I'm talking about your father and your mother. But sir, what if they are leading me wrongly? At that level, you can let us know. That's why you have your pastor. Pastor, I think daddy is getting it wrong. Mommy is getting it wrong. I have had several examples of that. I know of cases of people who wanted to get married in church. I think I saw one of our sisters this morning brought a suitor home, and the father said, no, you can't marry, you can't. And she cried to me and said, see what daddy said. I said, well, the Bible says, honor your father and your mother. What daddy said is final. We have to. In spite of the bondings they have, you can still pull apart and honor your parents and not damn the consequences. I don't know the person the Lord is sending me to. They are currently talking to you at the moment and you are saying, no, I don't give a damn to your feelings. I don't give a damn. Even if you believe that God is leading you, please talk to us about it. If we need to wait on the Lord with you, that the Lord will change their mind, we will do so. If we are sure that is what the Lord is asking us to do. But please, never you confront your parents, never you insult your parents, never you ridicule or mock them by anything that you say. Is lesson number 2 clear? Am I talking to living souls? And if you have in any way insulted them, please, after the service, just tell them, Daddy, Mommy, I'm sorry, after the service. Just give them a call. I think I got it wrong. I got it wrong. And we can counsel you how you can walk through that. That is the second lesson I saw in the life of Samson that brought him to a point when he had a lot of marks on his destiny. Number 3, verse 5 and verse 6. Samson went down with his father and his mother to Timnath. On the way, I think they were not walking together. Either the parents were in the front and he's in the back, or whether he was in the front and they were at the back. A lion encountered Samson, and what did Samson did? In verse 6, when the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, he tore the lion into pieces. He killed the lion, but did not tell his father and his mother. I wasn't talking about his pastor, and I'm doing that intentionally because of where we stopped last week. Samson began to have things he's hiding from the authority figures in his life. He started hiding. He started becoming evasive. And some of you are very evasive. They start calling you. Oftentimes, I find it very sad. Parents have to come down from different places. I've been looking for my son. I've been looking for my daughter. I've been calling him or her, and he has not returned the call. Evasiveness, hiding yourself, becoming unpredictable, becoming mysterious, for one reason or the other, will not lead to the right destination. 2 weeks ago, a woman called from Ibadan and said, Pastor, are you the pastor of Oore-Ofe? I said, yes. Say, I'm looking for my son. Mention the name. I said, I can't remember the name. He said, but he comes to your church. I said, there are many people in church. How many names can I remember? Last week, we were about 700 or 800 plus. How many names can I memorize? He said, but he was one of your members. In fact, the woman said, one day, I had come to your church at the old church. He said, this number I'm using, I got it from the bulletin that I collected some years ago. He said, I don't even know whether he has graduated or not. A woman was telling me about the bulletin they collected 2016 or 2017, 2024. Shouldn't the person have graduated? I know a pastor from one of the villages in Ogbomoso that we still spoke together last week. They are looking for one boy here who stopped going home, who became evasive, who started hiding, like several of you. You know the worst part, your mom will become suspicious. Say, something is wrong with you, Tade. Or they just mentioned Shola, something is wrong with you, and you said, no, everything is right. It is the spirit of Samson. It is the spirit of destruction. Because every issue that needed to be attended to in time, evasion will cover it. By the time they get to know, it is already too late. What is the problem? How do we locate a person that graduated or that should have graduated 2016-17? So I told Pastor Demola, go into the church office. Let's start searching for record. We did not find the name. I know there are people when it is time for them to fill their last form in church, they will never fill it. And that has been on for years. 500 level students, I will give them form and they will dodge it. It is the spirit of Samson. You know, even when our spirit is looking for them, we can't find them. They get lost in the wilderness of life. Why? Why will you not fill the form? Why will you not declare yourself? In case we need to reach you, in case we need to locate you. And parents, some of you need to take a screenshot of yourself in church compound for them to even believe you came to church this morning. And so even in church, you need to raise your phone and say, Daddy, they are doing Thanksgiving, oh, I'm in church. You are still evasive. Samson killed a lion. then why should the father not know that he killed a lion? Why? Why should your parents not know your next plans? Why should they not know your next move? Why are you evasive? And our best daughters and sons in church, immediately you enter a relationship, the first assignment the devil gives to you is to turn your back on us. And we start asking questions. The next day you come to us is when you have your IV. Pastor, we would like you to attend the program. We will attend. That was what you wanted. If you had wanted us to walk through it with you, we would have. One of our daughters, God bless her. I wish she can listen to this and her husband. Don't hide your life and your journeys at any crucial time. Don't be afraid. She came one day. She said, during IT, somebody had interest in me. I said, you need to meet my pastor. And so the fellow was in Abuja. And the fellow left Abuja, was coming to Ogbomoso to come and see me. And I didn't know. The fellow got to Ilorin and called me and said, well, I am so person to so person. I'd like to meet you. I was already on my way to Shagamu for a revival service. I was in the car. I had left the house, but not the town. And the lady said, he left Abuja. I said, we never had an appointment for, I wouldn't have asked you to bring him today. He said, will he come back again? I said, if he wants to. There's no rule. If he wants to, he will. If he doesn't want to, I can't kill myself. I already have a time. I must get to Shagamu, and I'll be there till so date. I want to shock you. He returned back to Abuja. I came back. He drove the first time and drove back. That's honor. So if he calls me today, I will listen. He's not a member of my church. He's redeemed. He said, they told me we didn't book appointment. So the next time, he said, will you be free this weekend? I said, yes. He said, I will meet you. Then he came. We talked together. Anytime the two of them have misunderstanding, even in the middle of the night, she will call me. I said, no, go and meet your pastor in Abuja. He said, the guy will say, Pastor, you know, my wife can hear your voice and I can hear your voice too. I have gone to Abuja with my wife to stay with them. And on Sunday like this, I followed them to their church. They honored me and I honored them. This lifestyle you are living is not good. It's not good. And anytime I am in Abuja, I always love to. If we are going by flight with my wife, we always have the joy to call him, come and pick us at the airport. And he will. Listen. Is there anything that you will be that your parents have not passed through? Is there any lion you are killing that nobody has killed before? Let them know so that they will tell you to run away from certain things that can destroy your destiny. Number 4. We need to get to 7. I just hope I will be fast enough. So what number are we now? It's 4 now. Number 1, I told you about the choice of life partner. Number 2, I told you about authority figures. Number 3, I told you about this evasion, hiding from what? Hiding things from your parents. So number 4 now. Verse 8 and verse 9. Judges chapter 14. Are you there? And after a time he returned to take her. He turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. So what did he do? He took thereof in his hands and went on eating and came to his father and mother and gave them. And they did eat. But he told them not that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. Church, if he had told them, the problem of Samson would have been nipped in the bud. Why? Part of the instruction that were given out by the angels before Samson was born. And I want to stress on this. I may likely continue others the following week. Now, part of the instructions. Please, everybody go to chapter 13 of Judges. And let's look at verses 1 to verse 5. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto the woman and said unto her, Behold, now thou art barren and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine, nor strong drink, or eat any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son. No razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto the Lord from the womb. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistine. That the child was called a Nazarite. The full details of the life of a Nazarite. Who is a Nazarite? A child or a person separated to God, consecrated to God, a person whose life has been devoted solely to God. They told the woman, you will carry a baby, and that child, when the child is born, will be separated to God. God wants to use him as an instrument to deliver Israel out of the hands of the Philistines. The Philistines have been ruling over Israel, oppressing and making their lives hard. They've been afflicting them. Now, if God wants to answer the prayer of a person or a prayer of a people, he begins by raising a man or woman to undo the problems. God answering prayers or turning things around in his own way is by raising an instrument, and that instrument must either be a man or a woman. So when Israel was going through hard time for 40 years, God said, this woman, you will carry a pregnancy. Meaning now that child, before the child becomes old enough to begin to handle the assignment, at least how many years? Can we agree that Samson should at least be 20 or 25? So all these, God, where is your face? God said, well, let this child grow up. Samson must grow up. Samson must become a man. Samson must come to understand the assignment. You mother, you will need to help him. These are the things. Let's go to number 6 to see the instructions about the Nazarite vows. What are the things a Nazarite should do and not do? Number 6 from verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord. Can we all read verse 3, 4, 5, and 6? Let's go. He shall separate himself from wine, and shall not drink no vine jar of wine, or vine jar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. Now let's stop there. We'll come back to verse 4. What is the first instruction for a Nazarite? No wine. I can hear your voice. I'd like to ask you, how many alcohol intake should your wine contain? What if it is just 0.7%? I want to ask. No. If you have been separated from the Lord, you will tell me, but I know a pastor who is still drinking. Yes, he may be a pastor, but he may not be separated unto the Lord. He is still separating to the world. He is still worldly. He is still serving other things. He is still tending towards the things of this world. But when a man is separated unto the Lord, and I want to challenge you, about the wines in your house, about the drinks that you drink. And today, when you get to all these supermarkets, you have more liquors than soft drinks. Am I right? And they are very expensive. And then you see young men, young Samsons, come in with baskets. Buy them. Buy the liquors, because it shows status. It shows that we have arrived. Every Samson that carries the grace of God must run away from liquor. It's not permitted. You are not permitted to drink it. That was the first assignment that Nazarites must hold. Verse 4. What's the second instruction in verse 4? All the days of his separation he shall eat nothing that is made of vine tree, or the kernels, or even the husk. Now, even for him, if it is even ordinary juice, he's not going to even drink. Ordinary juice. Anything that will be tasty, anything that has been carbonated, they've added sugar and it is sweet. Anything that can make him happy, because you enter into that vow for a period of time, either for 10 or 15 years. I'm separating myself to the Lord. You know why I'm reading this? Some of you in your mother's womb, like Samson, you are not the one that made the vow. Sometimes your mommies made the vow, or God compelled them. It was not Samson's parents that wanted to make the vow. It was God who said, a child will be born through you. I want the child, and I want you to separate yourself. So let's go to verse 5, because we must finish Numbers. Probably next week we'll continue. All the days of the vow of his separation, no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separated himself from the Lord. He shall be holy, and let the locks of the hair of his head grow. Hallelujah. What's the second thing? Apart from wine and liquor, what's the second thing? What does no razor mean? He cannot barb his head until the days are completed. So if your hairs are like this, it's continuing to grow. My head is bushy. No, you can't barb it. You can't barb it. And even if there are locks, leave the locks there. Let them remain. Don't allow, and you don't enter any barber's shop to even trim. You don't even try to say, let me trim. No razor. And if no razor will come upon his head, is his chin part of his head? It means he will not be able to barb his beard. For how many years for Samson? For Samson, it was all his life. Number 3. Let's go. What's the next verse? Anybody? What's the next verse? Verse 6. Can we read verse 6 together? All the days he separated himself unto the Lord. He shall not go near what? So when Samson went to the dead lion's carcass, what was he doing? But he refused to tell his parents. He hid it. It was evasive. And for some of you who are living couple's life too, nobody gets to know. You just pretend as if all is well, and you are already defiled. So sad. He must not touch anything dead. In fact, in the remaining other verses below this, the Lord now said, if his mother should die, just tell people, my mom died, I can't touch him. My dad died, I can't. If you mistakenly touch the dead, he needed to do some rites to purify himself, or his consecration would have been wasted. So I want to ask him, when Samson went to the corpse or the carcass of the lion, what did he scoop? Judges 14, 8-9. What did he scoop there? Honey. When he was scooping honey, will his hand touch the lion? I can't hear you. Even though he brought honey, honey may look testimonies, honey may look breakthrough, honey may look stories of the goodness of God, but what he did, he had contaminated himself. Even if they bring that honey, he is not permitted to taste it. He gave it to his father and his mother, but he did not tell them. Because if he had told them, even if the father did not talk, who would have screamed? I can't hear you. Between our daddy and our mommy, who always shouts? Who shouts most? Who beats most? Who talks most? Who are most concerned? Can we put our hands together for our mommies? And some of you are here. They are still worried though. But something in you say, no, I don't know what is wrong with her. Just leave me alone. Let me live your life. She will never leave you alone. Because, see, that you is her life. She doesn't want people to abuse her and say, look at the child, look at the boy, look at the girl, look at how the life turned. People of God, as we close this passage today, Samson went and defied himself, and everything got wasted. Why are we reading this, and why am I pleading with you about this? Is there anything you are doing that is in this line? Are you in relationships your mommy said you should go and break, and you say, well, when we become pregnant, we'll go and call Pastor Shola to go and help us to beg? I can't hear your voice. I won't be able to follow you. You know why? I don't pray for my children to disobey me, so I don't follow people to their parents when they disobey. I don't tell parents to endure what I may not be able to endure. Any fire I want to use on another person, my first assignment in life is to first use it to touch my body, to be sure I can handle it. If I cannot handle it, I won't be able to ask others to bear it. I am praying that God in his mercy will help you. He will equally help me. You will not get lost. This world is a wilderness. There are fiery serpents. There are scorpions around. A young lady started following some friends. Parents were worried. She wrote the story in the newspaper. So this was not a fiction. She said, I got to learn what happened to me, but it was too late. Some people can correct their mistakes today. For some of us, it will be too late if you don't do it today. And cry to God and say, God, help me. Deliver me from this heart that does not care about the feelings of my parents. She wrote to us in the newspaper about what she did that she regretted. She started following friends. And they went to one place. Because it was a long story. It's several years ago. I'm talking of what I read in newspapers in the 90s, early 90s. Said, we went to one Baba. My friend said they will give us power. I didn't know that it was a scam. So we went to that Baba. They gave us a drink from a big pot. We drank the pot. He said, what I noticed from then is that if I stand before any man, listen to me, and we look eyeball to eyeball, he will become irresistibly pulled towards me, and he will follow me into the room to have sex with me. I can't say no, and he cannot say no. He said, I knew that was the result of the portion that Baba gave to us. He said, but why am I writing about this in the newspaper? My father is a pastor. When I got home, and my daddy greeted me and looked at my eyes, my daddy slept with me. Said, I don't know the person that will deliver me. How do I tell the world that I have given my daddy a mark? Kept himself all these years. He's been faithful. How do I tell mommy that daddy fell and I'm the one that engineered it? Have you fallen? Have you been beaten by the scorpions in the journey of life and you want the Lord to remove the venom for you? Have you gone with friends and you want God to deliver you? Have you reached a point that no matter what daddy and mommy says, something in you tells you, no, Well, they can't dictate my life to me. They can do it. They want to help you to get it right. And you want God to just help me. Lord, just help me. I don't want to die. Those are the people I want to pray for this morning. And I'm trusting God. Whatever it is that you are struggling with, anytime daddy is talking, mommy is talking, I hear something in me tell me, don't listen to them. You want the Lord to break that yoke. You want the Lord to break the fallow ground of your heart. I like us to bow our heads because I want to pray with those, our friends. And wherever you are, you belong to the groups I have mentioned. Can you just raise your right hand up? Because I like to pray for you. It's a solemn hour for me. It's a very solemn hour. I want